and then Mahad, Lamin, became the head boy. So
Yeah.
Lamin, take us through, or let's discuss, on your head boy ship role at Mahad. How does this, came?
Yeah. So being a head boy is something that is never easy. Like being a leader in general, it's not easy, right? And sometimes people tend to mix leadership when it comes to being a boss, like the difference between a leader and a boss, right? Usually, a boss would give instructions, but a leader follows. So even before I become a head boy, I already understand what are some of the necessary skills that are required for me to become a leader. So one, as a leader, you need to have good communication skills. So before I was elected, I won two debates. We won two debates with the head girl, right? And because I was good with when it comes to communication, I have no problem with that, right? Because I was an aspiring law student, right? Uh, that is how I went. I competed with one boy. He is in my class. Both of us in the same class. We contested for the same position,
Interesting.
and he was at the school since grade 10.
Then okay.
So I came grade 12, grade 11.
11.
Right. But at the moment, in fact, people approach me and tell me, why don't you become the head boy? Because we could see you have certain qualities that you could actually take the school forward. I was like, because I don't want to associate most times. Right? I will always want to side away. Right? But then I had to make consultation, reach out to my teachers and other people to see the opinion. Like, what does it even take to be a leader? Right? Even after understanding some of the things, but trying to verify. Right? I had to reach out to them. They give me advice. Right? So I tried to uphold to those advice, and that is what led me winning the position. It was a clarion call for celebration.
Certainly. So, though we believe leadership comes with opportunities, and of course, it comes with, obstacles that one must mount very well if he or she wants to flourish. So, what was some of the challenges that Lamin faced as the head boy of Mahad class of 2024?
I wouldn't say I face much challenges when it comes to dealing with students, right? Uh, but on the other hand, I think one of the issues I faced was based on personal level, and that is the issue of like transportation because I live in Busumbala, so waking up early is not easy, right? So every day you as a lady should not come to school late.
Mhm.
Even though I live far, I would make sure that I wake up early. But even that was not something I would be like, I can do it. It's not easy. It's not easy to wake up in the morning, right? Except if you're used to it. So that was the challenge that I faced. I think because I don't remember even taking a student to the administration. Because for me, what I believe in is that human beings they created and they're given mind, so they could think and make rational decisions. So the only way you'll be able to change their mind is not punishing them all the time. You try to talk to them in a nice, decent way. They would understand. But if you wanted to take force, like seizing their shoes, some start to develop hatred,
Grudges against you.
grudges, animosity, and the list goes on. But to avoid that, try to talk to them. Try to talk to them once, because as a leader, you should be able to balance between strictness and compassion. When should you be more strict, and when should you be more compassionate? As it is described in one of the poems called "The Leader and the Led," yeah, by Niyu Osundari.
Interesting. So, those were, let's say, key of the challenges was
Yeah,
transportation
yeah,
that Lamin living Busumbala for my senior secondary school.
yeah.
So, Lamin, what advice would you have for students, leaders, students that want to become head boy? At times, some students are competent, but due to the syndrome that if you become a leader at times, what takes you to that school, you would not really focus on that.
Yeah.
So
So the point would be, you know, when people say about a certain thing that they find it difficult, everybody talks about that. So you as an individual, if you're somebody who is committed, you should be one of those exceptions. If you don't strive to be an exception of what is said, a myth or whatever it is, it's going to be considered as an excuse. And excuses are tools of the incompetent, used to build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothingness. So if you don't want to go out of your comfort zone, right, and do what is necessary to help you grow personally, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to realize your potentials, right? You try yourself, right? Go out of your comfort zone and see how best you'll be able to be comfortable in that situation. But if you just see it, you don't make efforts to get to it, you'll find it very much difficult, right? Because it is the mind. Whatever you perceive in your mind and you believe in it, it becomes a norm. So you find it difficult to desist away from it. So my advice would be, like, to the young people, to the young leaders, be focused, be determined, be empowered. Empower yourself with the good education, then get out there and use that education to build a country worthy of your balanced promises. With hope and never fear.
hope and never fear. Lamin, now moving down to your academic excellence. No, Lamin did very well at Mahad, like I
Yeah.
said earlier on. Lamin is one of the best graduating students at Mahad Senior Secondary School. As part of the class of 2024 is concerned, Lamin nailed solid 9 credits. Which gives him the opportunity, the deserving opportunity to be enrolled at any institution in this country and of course beyond. So Lamin, solid 9 credits at WAS. Lamin, and of course during your graduation, you were awarded best grade 12 student. Lamin, how does this achievement ring in your mind?
Uh, it is one that shows that, when you're committed, right, when you're disciplined and you're persevered, you're consistent on what you do, right, efforts always pay. So you put in the efforts, you would see the realization of the efforts you've put in, right? So those things are very much necessary, which culminates to me being the best literature student, the best government, the best history, and the best grade 12 student, right? So it's through the power of commitment and consistency. So these things could be understood. You see, go back 4 centuries ago, or 3 centuries ago, 300 years ago, when the Europeans started to come here, right? When they came, some of the people died. The point is, what keep these people, because they have a mission that they want to accomplish. They want to explore Africa, right? The point is not that. The point is what kept them going, what kept them moving moving or rolling the ball forward, regardless of the limitations others might place on them. It is the power of commitment and consistency. If they are not consistent,
They will not
Britain
have.
would not be called Great Britain. France would not be as powerful it is today, and other European nations that visited the Africa. So consistency matters a lot. When you're consistent, it helps you to develop personally. So it has helped me. I go to school, sometimes 2 weeks, I will spend like 2 weeks at school. I will not even come home because I will be like, I'm the head boy. And if I graduate, I don't come up with good results. What are people going to think of me? So that idea or that statement keeps lingering in my mind. So it helped me to stay on track, to make sure I do what is necessary to be able to get to the position where I actually get to.
Interesting. So it is like, Lamin nailed 9 credits. And then, who would you, dedicate this, achievement to? Because when you called, and then when you text me at the village, boy, I've collected my result and I got 2 credits. I was like, no, that would never happen. As far as the Lamin I know. So,
Yeah.
who would you, dedicate these results to? This great achievement.
This achievement, uh, I'll dedicate it to my aunt and to my parents, and by extension, to my teachers. Yes.
So, Lamin, what does the future holds? What is Lamin? Inspiring, or what is Lamin want to do in the future?
So I was I was a student who is always passionate about when it comes to public speaking and also debate, right? So because those are things that are necessary to be able to get me where I wanted to go, and that is to become a law student. So becoming a law student, I sat down, I said to myself, what would it take for somebody to become a law student? You need public speaking skills, you need debate skills, you need writing skills, you need analytical skills. And in fact, because of the aspect of analytical skills, that is what made me fall in love with literature. I loved that subject since I was in junior school. It was like my favorite subject, right? So I continued because many people would want to run away from it because the reading is bulky. So you had people saying a law student or a lawyer, you read a lot. So like, okay, let me also try, right, and read harder, right, and try to improve my critical thinking and also the mind when it comes to analysis, right. It helped me a lot. In fact, when I went to private, uh, I was unable to have the A or the B because my teacher believed in me. Mr. Sankoba is now working at the
Ombudsman.
office of the ombudsman. He is one of the finest teachers who taught me in Martin Secondary School. uh, he after the paper was done, he called me and asked me and said, Lamin, how was the paper? Because I did not finish the paper. Like that was the first time I take the exam. I took the exam. So I didn't know what it involves because he would tell me like it is writing. So I was overwhelmed with writing. I was unable to finish it. And the examiner said, it's time. I answered 3 questions in prose and drama and poetry. I'm supposed to answer 4. So it's like I lose 25 marks. I end up having C5. So at night, he texted me again and said, so what do you think we are going to have? A or B? I looked at the message. I had to cry because he had so much believed in me. And I know clearly that I will not be able to bring the A or the B. No way. I did not answer that question. I said, I just sent this question. Then he laughed and said, it is difficult to answer. It's fine. But still, he believed in me. After taking my results, I showed him, right? He was not, maybe he was happy. I could not know it. But to me, he wasn't happy because he expected so much from me. But I tell him what was my weakness. So that actually tells the importance of taking the private. It teaches you lessons.
Certainly.
It teaches me time management in the exam. I make sure that doesn't happen to me at once. And it was from C5, private was, at once I got like B2 in literature. And he
Interesting.
said
So
he is the B2 is the best literature so far in the history of Mahat.
so meaning
So that's
Lamin set a record.
yeah.
Interesting. So who do you look up to, or as a lawyer? That really inspires you from high school and coming up, and still Lamin, is on the verge of studying his law study.
Yeah, I would say that start in the senior school because at junior school I didn't know anybody who is a lawyer or he's a law student. I was completely disconnected from that, right? But when I came to the combos, right, uh, we have Mohammed. He's a state prosecutor, right? Adamo told me about him, so I took his number and tried to talk to him on how I can be able to get the results what I want to be able to get to law school. So what he advised is to keep reading, right, and stay focused, stay committed. These things coupled together, that is what is going to help you to become a law student. And also, Amikol Sar, I think you must have known him, right? Very good debater, right? Very good law student. He graduated not long ago, right? So those are the people I look up to. And my literature teacher, he also studied law. Yeah, he also studied law. He's smart. He's brilliant, and I would always love to attend his class and listen to what he is saying. In fact, before the results were out, I sent him like a message, uh, trying to thank him of things he has attempted on my behalf, right? And it was so funny. Like I was very much connected to him that it's so funny that the way he talk, I try to imitate it. I try to imitate the way he carries his bag. You know, he carries his bag on the inside. So when I told him, like he laughed, right? And at the end of the message, I said, I might not be your best minds in bracket students to give you the A or the B. So when I collected my results at school was, he sent me a message and said, Lamin, I hereby crown you as one of my best students.
Interesting. That I know that message. I mean,
Like,
got
yeah,
deep into you.
yeah.
But that was
He was happy. Yes.
good accomplishment. Lamin, we are almost at the tail end of the program. But
Yeah.
now, I mean, what support would Lamin want to, I mean, have, or if there's any person that want to support Lamin, what way would you want them to support?
Yeah. The support would be, let's say, if I can have a scholarship, because one thing I think that kept me going was because I was going through a video at YouTube. That was my grade 10. So I saw something like, uh, it's more or less a motivational video, right? So I saw something like you need to have like 4.3 like GPA, like at high school, it can be converted. So when you have that, like you can get to, let's say, Harvard Law School. So that has been in my mind all the time. So it kept me focused, it kept me dedicated that one day I'll get to Harvard Law, inshallah. So if I can have your support, I'm ready to sacrifice anything it takes to make sure I become one of the best graduates, inshallah.
So that is Lamin, I mean, scholarship that he needs and to study or to further his education in any part of the country. And then he's seeking support from any individual that would really love to support. So, I mean, due to time, we could not continue much. But Lamin, before we end this,
Yeah.
what is your final, I mean, message as far this interview is concerned?
Uh, that would be the interview is very good. I love the idea when you told me you wanted to have an interview with me. In fact, I wanted to include my head girl, but it is late because you told me yesterday before yesterday, right, that you wanted to have an interview with me. So it's going to be prompt for her to be able to come. But all in all, uh, it is one. It is an interview that I loved, and that I must really congratulate you for your efforts, all the way leaving your houses, coming here to interview me with regards my educational career, the challenges that I faced, and the achievements that I made. So thank you so much for having me here today.
It's a pleasure. And dear viewers, that was all we have for you today on our special interview, one-to-one interview with Lamin Kamara, one of the best graduating students at Mahad Senior Secondary School class of 2024. Lamin nailed 9 solid credits. And then his inspiration is to study law at any university. And of course, he solicits your support. So, dear viewers, I was your host, Ibrahim Mbaye. Until we come your way next time, bye-bye from me.